Tommy Lasorda famously said that every team wins a third of their games, loses a third of their games. It's the other third that matters. But is that always true?
Folks, thanks for joining us at the Baseball Brewhaha. It's your spot for obscure baseball trivia. I'm Aaron. That's my identical twin brother, Adam, and we're having some coffee and we're having trivia for breakfast because that's the way we like it. We're going to dive into this question here today. Adam, you gave us a taste. Give us the question, some options, and let's see what we can figure out today.
So Tommy Lasorda has this often repeated quote of every team wins a third of their games, loses a third of their games, and it's what you do with the other third that matters. But that's not always the case. Sometimes teams do not win a third of their games, and some teams win more than 2/3 of their games. And so we're going to dive into that today. Our first question is, how many teams have not won a third of their games? So if you're calculating along, that's 54 games a team would need to win a third of their games. How many teams have not won 54 games? And this is since 1961 when the schedule expanded to 162 games.
Okay.
So how many teams have not won 54 games in a season? Our options are 11, 13, 15, or 17.
Wait, in some ways, I thought this number might be higher. I just think of the Tigers. I think of the Phillies in the 80s. I'm going to say 15.
Okay, and I went low on this one. I was thinking it was higher, maybe on the other side of it. I went 11 on this one.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Let's anticipate it's going to land in the middle. So here we go.
Okay, here we go. Our correct answer is 15. Well done, Aaron. The notoriously worst of this bunch is the 1962 Mets, who finished 40 and 120.
Wow.
For those doing the math there, that does not equal 162 games.
I was just doing the math.
What happened?
I figured they was just like you're bad. Just you we'll just save you the pain.
Well, there is a reason why the Mets did not play 162 games, and so here's a little snapshot of how that season went for the Mets. They tied a game against the Houston Colt 45s. Okay. And why did they tie that game, do you ask? Not because of rain, not because of, thunder, lightning. No. The game was ended in the 8th inning because of a law in Houston that on a Sunday you can't start a new inning after 7 p.m.
Oh, after 7 p.m. Oh my word! And maybe that's why they moved to earlier afternoon games or something. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So here's where it gets wacky though. They tried to make up the game as part of a doubleheader later, but the doubleheader was rained out and never made up. So they only played 160 games.
Well, when you're 40 and 120, where you end in the standings is not important to the playoffs. So
that's right. So congrats to the Mets on the worst of the worst.
I remember there were some teams in the like early 1910s, 1920s that were bad. I think the Philadelphia A's were bad back in that stretch as well. So anyway, did you have anything else there, or are we moving to the flip side? We're going to be a little positive. We're going to end this on a positive note.
Yeah, we're going to flip it on the other side here. So again, Tommy Lasorda said that a team would lose a third of their games, but that is not always true. So we're trying to figure out how many times did a team not lose a third of their games. So this would be winning 109 games or more.
Yeah.
All right. So how many times does that happen? 5, 9, 13, or 17?
5, 9, 13, or 17 times. I'm going to go with 13
Okay. I went 13 also. I was thinking this may have happened
times.
a
Yeah.
fair number of times. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's check it out. What do we got? We have this has happened only 5 times.
Only 5? What?
5 times. Yes. So
Okay.
so the most is the 2001 Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, tied for the most.
Well, this
since
is
61, since 90.
yeah.
Okay,
I
so I
mean,
got
tied for the most wins ever, but thinking about this, the Cubs played only 154 games this season. They won 116.
yeah,
So they they had 8 fewer games to do it, and the
yeah.
Mariners. Whew. But anyway, the other teams to do this were the 1998 New York Yankees, 2022 Dodgers,
Okay.
1969 Orioles, and the 1961 Yankees.
Wow. Okay. All right then. Well, yeah, I got a little bit jumbled on my history there. I knew we were going 1961, and I expanded it and ran into trouble there. So, but yeah, I mean, did you happen to look at like kind of the World Series results of each of those teams? I know the '98 Yankees won. 2022 Dodgers, you said they did
Yeah.
not win the World Series, and the Mariners painfully did not make it out of the ALCS against the Yankees that particular year.
Yeah.
So yeah, winning the most games doesn't guarantee you a World Series championship.
No, it doesn't. But I think the Mariners were the only team of this bunch who did not make the World. Oh, that's not true. The Orioles in 1969 didn't make the World Series. So,
Well, the Dodgers didn't either. They lost
yeah,
to the Padres.
that's right. So,
Yeah,
Yankees, 1998.
standalone. Yeah, that's a quirky one. You play that many games and you play that well. You're one of only 5 teams, and you can't even make it to the World Series.
That's
Used all
tough.
your bullets, Used all your
Yeah,
bullets.
you got to peak at the right time.
Or in the case of the Mariners, you still got to be able to pitch.
That's right.
You have more than a bullpen.
That's right.
So, well, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for joining us on the Baseball Brewhaha. We'll be back at you tomorrow. More games. Comment, subscribe. Love to hear your trivia questions. If you have something you want us to explore, let's do it together. We'll see you tomorrow.